Today we'll discuss about the electric field lines, or it is also named as electric lines of force. Okay. Now, what do you mean by electric field line, and why it is important? Normally, for the representation of electric field in a certain region, electric field lines are drawn. It gives you about the direction, its strength, direction and strength of the electric field at any point. Okay. So, how it is defined, let's see, and how it is drawn. Now, how I will draw electric field line? For that purpose, first of all, we take a source charge. Let the source charge is Q. Okay, this is my source charge, and suppose I want to draw the electric field lines for this source charge. Because normally electric field is not visible to us. Electric field is just like you entering in a dark room and you assume that something, and you just assume that there is a spider. Why? Because you are getting entangled with the spider web. So it's just like the same feeling we have. Electric field is there, but we cannot see it. So for the representation, we used to draw the imaginary lines. Okay. How it is drawn? For that purpose, suppose we place a test charge around this source charge anywhere. So suppose I am placing it here. So this is your test charge. This is the source charge. What happens? Because the repulsion, it is pulled in the outward direction, pushed in the outward direction. Similarly, if I place the same charge here, it is again pushed towards that direction. Similarly, we can draw the imaginary lines in this way. This is the curve of the path that would have been followed by a unique positive charge or a test charge whenever it is placed in the vicinity of a source charge. So these lines which are being drawn here represent the electric field line. Okay, these are the electric field lines. And how it is defined? So let's go for a definition. Definition is, so as per the discussion, electric field line can be defined as the curve or the imaginary line along which a small positive charge would have tend to move if it is free to do so in an electric field. In this case, the small positive test charge is Q naught, and it is placed in the electric field of capital Q. Okay, and moreover, it has been said that if you want to just know the electric field, the direction of electric field at any point of this region, simply at that region, if you just draw electric field line at the tangent is taken at that point to the electric field line, will give you the direction of electric field at that point. For a better understanding, we just draw it as a way. This is okay. We have just here drawn the electric field lines for us positive charge. And in case if you are drawing for the negative charge, then this electric field lines will be in the inward. Why? Because this positive charge would have been attracted towards the negative charge. So in case of negative source charge, the electric field lines will be inwards. Okay, these are straight ones, but normally suppose if we draw for electric dipole, these field lines are not straight. So now let us discuss few examples for drawing the electric field lines. For example, this is for the positive charge, positive point charge. In this way, the electric field lines are drawn. This was a negative charge, and here we have taken a system in which we have two charges, Q1 and Q2, such that Q2 is negative of Q1, as well as they are equal and opposite charges separated by some distance. This kind of arrangement is called dipole, and we will study it in the next topic. Right now, we are just studying its electric field line arrangement. You can see here the electric field lines are going from positive to negative, and the other lines are drawn in this way. Okay. This is the electric field line arrangement for electric dipole. Similarly, if we have two positive charges, first one is named as Q1, this is named as Q2. Okay. So in that case, the electric field line arrangement will be like in this form. And one thing you need to notice that whenever you are drawing this electric field line arrangement, we always come across a neutral point. This neutral point is that point around which the electric field intensity is 0. And this position of this neutral point depends upon the magnitude of charges. Suppose if two charges are of same magnitude, then this neutral point will be exactly at the center of the line joining the two charges. But in case, suppose in this case we say that q1 is equal to q2, okay, then the neutral point lies at this point. Let it be neutral point as O. Fine. But suppose in any way these charges are not equal, then in that case, suppose q1 is greater than q2, then the neutral point will shift towards the weaker charge. So let it be the C, and rectified lines also get a little bit modified because this is a stronger charge, so rectified lines will be like this. And now the neutral point is shifted towards the weaker charge out of the two. Okay, the position of the neutral point will shift more towards the weaker charge. So take care while drawing the electric field line diagram for such arrangements in which we have taken two positive charges. Okay, fine. So next we'll discuss about the properties of electric field lines. So first two properties we'll discuss. First property is, you can see the diagrams, the electric field lines originate coming out from the positive charge and ends at the negative charge. You can see that you have seen the diagram in which we have taken two positive charge, this arrangement in which we have positive charge and we had a negative charge. In that system of charges, the electric field lines were coming out of this positive charge and entering and this ending at the negative charge. Okay. Second thing which we have already discussed, that these electric field lines are imaginary lines. Okay. And why they are used? They are used for the purpose of pictorial representation of electric field. Okay. The third property is, the tangent drawn to the field line at any point gives the direction of electric field at that point. How? Suppose this is an electric field line. I want to know the direction of electric field at this point, so it will do. I simply draw a tangent here. This tangent is along this direction, and this tangent gives the direction of electric field at this point. Let it be point P. So this tangent gives the direction of electric field at point P. Okay. And using the same concept, we can say that no two electric field lines ever cross each other. And why is this so? Because in case no two electric field lines ever cross each other. Why? Because if two electric field lines ever cross each other, then at the point of intersection, suppose that is again point P, you will have two tangents, and definitely the point of intersection will have two directions for the electric field, and it is not possible that at the same point we cannot have, it is not possible that at the same point we can have two directions for the electric field. So that is why electric field lines cannot ever cross each other. Okay. So here you see that fifth property is, electric field lines do not form closed loops. Why? Because they are starting from the positive charge and ending at the negative charge. They do not form a continuous loop here. Okay. So they have a definite starting point and ending point. Okay. So they do not form closed loops. Next property is, electric field lines are always normal to the charge surface. Let me show you how. Suppose I have a charge surface. This is a charge surface, and I assume that in this charge surface the electric field is not normal. Okay. Suppose the electric field line emerging out of this positive charge surface, and it is not normal. Let it is at angle theta with the surface. Then we can have here components. This component is along the horizontal. This is a horizontal component. Let it be E1 given as E cos theta. This is second component given as E2 equals to E sin theta. Okay. Fine. Now the charges which are present on this surface will experience force because of this electric field. So we can say that the force experienced by the charges on the surface due to E1 is, that is F equals to Q E1. Now, if Q is the charge, that is charge is Q. Okay, so we say this is the force experience. In such cases, we can write it as Q E cos theta. But if the force was exerted, the charges should be in motion. But these charges are static because we are dealing with electrostatics, in which we are studying about the static charges. That means F should be equal to 0 because no movement, so force should be 0. So if F equal to 0, in that case we have QE cos theta is also equal to 0. Q is not 0, E is not 0. That means the only thing 0 is cos theta, and it is possible only when theta equals to 90. That means the only option we have is the electric field lines are emerging out perpendicularly from the charge surface. So you can also say they are always being drawn normal to the charge surface. Whether it's a positive charge surface or a negative charge surface, they are always normal. Okay, for a positive charge surface, they are emerging out normally from the surface. For a negative charge surface, they are actually entering into this negative charge surface. That is also normal. Okay, so this is the sixth property. Next property. It is been observed that electric field lines do not pass through a conductor. Okay, because of this, the electric field inside a conductor is 0. Net electric field inside a conductor is 0. But electric field lines can pass through a dielectric. Dielectrics are basically the insulating materials. Those are have the ability of retaining charge on their surface. About this, you will study in detail before the next section of capacitance. Okay. Here, next. The relative closeness of the electric field lines gives you a measure of the strength of electric field in that region. Okay. See how? Suppose I take example of arrangement of positive and negative charges. So what will happen? See here. The electric field lines are, you can say, more in that region. That means the field, electric field is stronger here. It is weaker in that region. Okay, so here electric field lines. Here, since field lines they are more crowded, so it is a region of strong electric field. This is not that strong electric field in this region. Okay, suppose we draw it another way. This is a reason for strong electric field, whereas this is another example. This example is for strong field. This example for weak field. Why? Because you can see the relative closeness in both the regions is different. Here it is more close, these field lines are more closer, so it depicts the stronger field. These are very, you can say, farther apart, so they depict the weak fields here. So next properties are electric field lines have a tendency to contract lengthwise. Okay, you can see here this is a positive charge, this is a negative charge. And you can see field lines are contracting lengthwise. This is shorter, this is longer, this is more longer. Actually, this explains the attraction between the two unlike charges. Okay. Similarly, the next property is electric field lines do have a tendency to expand laterally. You can see they are expanding laterally. Okay. So this is to exert the lateral pressure on the neighboring lines of force. Okay. Neighboring electric field lines, which actually gives you the result that this corresponds to the property in which two similar charges are repelling each other. Okay. So then with this we conclude the properties of electric field lines. So next topic is electric dipole. Okay. It's a very important topic, and let's define the electric dipole here. So it is an arrangement of two equal and opposite charges separated by very small distance. Okay, it is shown here from our diagram. Here we have an electric dipole AB. O is the center. Two equal number charges minus q and plus q are separated by very small distance 2a. Here O is the midpoint, so O is A, OB is A, and total is 2A. Okay. Next thing we deal here is the electric dipole moment. What is electric dipole moment? It is denoted by E vector. Okay. What is electric dipole moment? It is defined as the product of magnitude of either charge and the distance between the two charges. Okay, so it is written as dipole moment equals to q multiplied with 2a. Take 2a as a vector which is directed from minus q to plus q. Okay, so minus q to plus q is the direction we taken here for the 2a, and similarly the electric dipole moment also have a direction from minus q to plus q. Its SI unit is coulomb meter. The SI unit for dipole moment is coulomb meter. Okay, so we have many examples of electric dipoles like H2O, HCl. Okay, examples are HCl. Then we have H2O. Similarly, we can have so many examples for electric dipole. Fine. Okay, one thing more. Sometimes it has been asked that what do you say mean by an ideal dipole? An ideal dipole is that in which, right about next is ideal dipole. So ideal dipole is that in which we have a case in which 2a tends to be 0 and q tends to be infinity. In such cases, the P, that is dipole moment, the dipole moment P will have a, you can say, finite value. Such a arrangement of negligible size is called an ideal dipole. Okay, so this is all about the dipole. Now we will discuss about the electric field due to a dipole. So next topic is electric field at the axial point of a dipole. A dipole used to have two things which are important. First is axial line, second is called equatorial line. Okay, so first we'll talk about the axial line. This is a dipole denoted by AB. It is a center named as O. Okay, this is A, and we are supposed to find the activity intensity at any point on the axial line. This is called axial line. On this axial line, we take a point P, which is the distance R from the center O. Okay, so let's start. We have here the electric field intensity at point P due to minus q is, this is E minus q equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This is q, minus q upon, now distance we need to put, so we'll write a p square. Okay, this is a p square And if you want to put a direction also, then we can write that this is in the opposite direction of the yes, it's the opposite direction of the dipole moment. Why? Because dipole moment is in this direction. This is a negative charge, but let it be assumed it's a seat for a positive charge. Attraction will take place, so the value of E minus Q is along this direction. This, okay. Similarly, we can write electric field. Sorry, let me complete this. So this is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R plus A square. This is minus P. You can take the direction only. This is minus P. Okay, for the sake of direction we take. So similarly, say next is electric field intensity at point P due to plus Q charge S. Again, E plus Q equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R minus A. Why we take a minus A? Because we are interested in BP. So if you want to write it completely, we write it here BP square, and BP is equal to OP minus OB, that is R minus A. So result is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R minus A square. Direction will be along the dipole moment. So we'll write this is the E positive, the along the direction of P, so we'll write it as same direction as that of the electric dipole moment. Okay. So we need to find the net electric field at point P. So though we'll see net field at point P is if you are getting confused between this P and that P, you can choose it as point, some other point you can name it as point C is okay. Okay, so we'll say point C. Fine, here also you can write point C. So that net electric field at point C is E equals to, this is E minus Q plus E plus Q. Okay, putting the values we have 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R plus A square minus P 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R minus A square P positive. Okay. So next step. Next step is E axial is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught. You can take Q common from both. Then we can see that 1 upon R minus A is positive, and this is 1 plus R plus A negative. So we are writing it in this form. Okay, we included a negative sign, that's why it is here. And this is now further it can be written as 1 upon Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This is R plus A square minus R minus A square divided by R square minus A square. So Q. If you are not comfortable, write in this form R minus A R plus A square. Okay. The next is Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. And now this will be solved as R square plus A square plus 2AR minus R square plus A square minus 2AR. Like terms will be cancelled, and in the down we have R square minus A square square. Okay. So next result is Q upon 4 pi epsilon naught. This is 4AR divided by R square minus A square. Okay. Further you can write it as, I'm missing something here. I just forgot to write P. So we have a 2a q. This is 2r, and along with that we are having p. This is 4 pi epsilon naught r square minus a square power this. This can be further written as, now 2a q is the magnitude of dipole moment. This is direction. So together it forms the full complete vector of dipole moment, and result is this. Okay. Now for short dipoles, so for the ideal dipoles, your r is much greater than a. So we'll see r square minus a square can be nearly written as r square, which is equal to r4. Okay. Now the result for the electric field will be, this is 2re 4 pi epsilon naught r4, which is further equal to 2p upon 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. Okay, this is the final result for the electric field at the axial point of the dipole. We'll discuss about the next topic is electric, to find the electric field at the equatorial point of a dipole. Okay, let's discuss. First of all, draw electric dipole. This is minus q. This is plus q. This point name is A. This is B. This is the center point O. Okay. This is A. This is again A. And this is the equatorial line. Okay, perpendicularly, slide is the perpendicular bisector of the dipole. So it's an equatorial line, and at the point here is, again the point is C. Okay, so we are looking for the electric field at this point C. Okay, so let's do, let the distance here is r from point O, from point O, yes. Okay. Now, starting in the same way, we need to make little more arrangement that this distance is required. So we write this is r square plus a square. Okay, and let this distance named as, what should I say this? Leave it as x square plus r square, no matter. This is again r square plus a square. Okay. Now, since we are looking for the electric field at this point, so we assume that it's a seat for a positive charge and a positive charge. It's a positive charge, so direction of electric field line here will be E plus Q. Okay, and the direction for the electric field, because of this negative charge, is downward. Why? Because of attractive forces. So we have E minus Q here. Okay, and the resultant field will be around this direction. So that it be E equatorial. So let's first of all, we'll do it later. Okay, so first of all, go for the E minus Q plus Q. So we'll say electric field at point C due to plus Q is, this is E plus Q is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon B C square. Okay, this is fine. So electric field at point C due to plus Q is E plus Q 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon BC square, and direction is along BC. Similarly, electric field at point C due to plus Q, this is due to minus Q, is E minus Q equals to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon AC square. Okay, that is equal to along this, yes, downward, so it will be along direction CA, and you can see here that the magnitude of E plus Q and E minus Q is equal. It is equal to how much? Let it be equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon, this is the value of BC and AC is being same, so we'll write it as r square plus a square. Okay, root was there but square was taken, so the result is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught q upon r square plus a square. Okay, now if we assume that we can write it E minus Q here. Okay, so if we assume that if this is angle theta, okay, this is also angle theta, in that case we can assume or see that these angles also theta and theta. Okay, so the resultant electric field because of these two will be along this direction, that is opposite to the direction of the electric dipole moment. Okay, so here I think resultant electric field is at this point, which is called electric field due to equatorial point. So let's solve for that. So net electric field at point C, okay, will be equal to E equatorial given as E plus Q square E minus Q square 2E plus Q E minus Q, this is cos 2 theta. Okay, why? Because using this resultant equation, so we have using this equation that we have a two vectors and angle between the two vectors is 2 theta. So using the law of the vector addition, we can have this result. So we know that E plus Q, E minus Q is both equal to E. So we have E square plus E square plus 2E again E cos 2 theta. Result is 2E square plus 2E square cos 2 theta. Now let's discuss one more thing, that we have a result that cos 2 theta is equal to cos square theta minus sin square theta, or it can also be written as 1 minus, this is 2 cos square theta minus 1, or it can also be written as 1 minus 2 sin square theta. So here, so you use the result here as this is 2E square, this is 2E square, okay, 1 plus cos 2 theta. So from this result we can see that cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos theta minus 1. So we can write it as 1 plus cos 2 theta is equal to 2 cos square theta. Put the value here. We have 2E square and this is 2 cos square theta. Result obtained is 4E cos, this is 2 to 4, this is 2E cos theta. So resultant electric field is this. Put the values, we have 2, value of electric field is 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square plus E square. Cos theta is from this triangle, see the cos theta. Cos theta is base upon hypotenuse. So base is A and this hypotenuse and this hypotenuse is x square plus R square plus A square. Okay. Overall result is 2A cube 4 pi epsilon naught R square plus A square. You can see here this is power 1, this is power half. Result is 1 plus half, that is 3 by 2. Okay. Fine. Next. Now the result obtained here is written as 2A cube is P divided by 4 on vector. 4 pi epsilon naught r square plus a square power 3 by 2. If you are not comfortable here, we can write it as the so net electric field result is E equatorial is equal to this is E, this is the magnitude of the dipole moment divided by 4 pi epsilon naught r square plus a square power 3 by 2. Okay. Now in vector form, it can be written as that E vector equatorial vector is equal to minus P upon 4 pi epsilon naught r square plus a square power 3 by 2. So you can see here the value of the electric field is okay. This is the value, but direction is opposite to that of the electric dipole moment. Now for a short dipole, let's go to the result. Now for a short dipole, you can say r square plus a square. For short dipoles, r is much greater than a, and we can say r square plus a square power 3 by 2 is nearly equal to r square. This should be r square plus a square power 3 by 2 can be taken equal to r square power 3 by 2, that is r cube. This is r cube. Next is now equatorial is given as P minus P 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. Okay, this is the final result for the electric field at the equatorial point of a dipole. And if we compare the results for the axial field and the equatorial field, the result we have is let's compare the results in both the cases. So we know that equatorial is, first of all, E equatorial is given as 2p upon 4 pi epsilon naught r cube. Okay, no sorry, this is E axial. And E equatorial is given as P upon 4 pi epsilon naught r cube, negative sign is here. So you can observe two things. First of all, the E axial magnitude is double of E equatorial. Okay, the first point has to be noticed. Secondly, you can also see that the direction of E axial is along P vector, whereas direction of E equatorial is opposite to P. Okay, so two main differences we observed in when we compare the electric field due to axial point and due to equatorial point. Okay, thank you.